Boys is getting quiet. Go on and get crunk. Head back to Longview, Kelly popping trunk. I ain't even tripping. Riding and I'm sipping. Let me come through 4-4, steady tipping. On that new lap. Watch the trunk crack. Let me sit sideways, CB running back. Maybe AP, maybe AD. I ain't even tripping cause we some athletes. Messing with Smitty in the summertime. He get pissed if we don't make our time. But we gon' get it cause we gotta finish. Nebraska Horn Hustlers, man, we diminish. Put them boys little, paint like a skittle. I ain't even tripping, I ain't never double dribble. Cause I'm a player from the Himalaya. Let me sit sideways, man. Maybe back door, maybe fall off. Sipping codeine cause I gotta kill a cough. Let me sit sideways in the big Benz. Oh, you boys, they my brothers, they my friends.
All right, welcome into Fullback U, and man, just excited part 2 with my man PJ Mills, but Joe Adkins as well. I'm super excited about this. But PJ, how you feeling?
I'm good, man. What's up?
Man, I'm great. Joe, how you feeling?
I'm doing all right, man. Just thank you for having me. I come in peace today.
No,
I know where I'm at.
Yeah, Joe's worried. I told him I was going to tell a story about him, PJ. So here's the story. So, I told you my dad went to Douglas, so we moved out to Carlisle. When I got there, we were a big basketball family. Grew up around Alonzo Mays, guys like that. Well, we go out to Carlisle, and it crushes me that basketball around here isn't the same as what it was when I was younger. And, one of the first things I went to was a Carlisle Summer League. And I go into this game. He already knows this. Yeah, I know. I go into this game, PJ, and it's a fucking movie. It's a movie. It's Joe Adkins versus Estelle Laster. It's the gym is packed. It's D up. But they couldn't D him up.
Yeah, no.
Joe Adkins was Trae Young before he was Trae.
Yeah,
before there was
he
Trae
had
Young.
range.
He was Steph Curry before there was Steph Curry.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
range.
sitting here as a kid like, oh my God, this is basketball, dog.
Yeah.
This is how it goes. Just if you can, do you have any memories of Carlisle Summer League?
I do. And the reason I do remember that is because normally at John Marshall, we never played Summer League. Like, none, every high school, they play somewhere in Summer League. I coach. Y'all do whatever you want. We ain't got to come. So that summer, for like 3 weeks, someone wasn't showing up. So Coach Cudjoe had coached under my coach before, so longtime friends. He's like, why don't y'all come out here and play? So he asked, you want to come out there and play? Well, yeah, we don't ever do this. Yeah, let's play. Yeah, so we go out there for a couple weeks, and every week they would just match us up. We would always have the good games. So, Carlisle they were good. They never made state. I always teased Darrell.
Sure.
Because of Darrell. I mean, I always it wasn't a shot at you.
That's good.
But it's for him.
Yeah, he just shot around you.
Yeah,
He shot around you.
I'm going to tag him.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
So it was more
awesome.
a shot at him.
That's awesome.
So we would go in and we would see all the best teams and teams that we really never got to play. But of course we get to play Northwest Class and it's packed. It's like a real game.
Yeah. So
you
gotta play accordingly.
Yeah,
you gotta play accordingly.
Yeah, small gym in the small gym too, not even in the big gym. So
The small gyms are the
everybody's
best gym because it's got the energy. The energy's crazy.
bro.
Yeah, the energy's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was
so
amazing.
we actually got to play, and that was my first time playing there, and I had some good games. I had some nice ones.
Yeah.
I mean, he had that
Some
45, 48,
Yeah.
somewhere around there.
Nice,
We like
nice,
three,
nice.
we little kids counting. I mean,
Yeah.
oh my God,
Counting them
he
down.
over 30.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. PJ, any basketball stories you ever took Joe one-on-one or been
No.
a victim?
I'm not even gonna give him the opportunity to get one up on me. I'm gonna use all my 5-6 fouls.
Yeah. Yep. Have you ever got around any city basketball? That's a good one. I know when you were at OU, did you get to go back and see any city basketball?
Yeah, I mean, basketball actually is my favorite sport.
Oh, I believe it. I know you're.
I was just better at football,
Yeah.
but basketball was my favorite sport. It was my first love.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, anytime I can watch, I just love competition. So if it's football, basketball, postseason baseball to me is more competitive than regular season. Sure. So anything that's really competitive, and if I hear names consistently, I want to go see it. Mm-hmm. Like if you hear about somebody, let me see. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You don't always have to verbally acknowledge it, but if you go to a gym and someone is either older than you or younger than you, you want to hear what it's about.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I've been hearing about this cat. Let me go see.
Yeah, man. We mentioned just a little bit of basketball and some of the athletes that I grew up with. Man, the Hurd family, Dre Hurd and them, just helped
Coach
me.
Hurd?
Coach Hurd's son.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
Dre's. Dre was a year older than me, but we played AAU together. But love the whole family. They definitely
great
helped me
family.
out. If you can, Joe, just talk about the athleticism. One, that it takes to play basketball. Two, did you ever try football? And then three, what would you recommend for kids out there?
This is kind of this question because it's a tough one because I'm probably going to speak out of both sides of my mouth a little bit. I feel and I think that most kids should play everything, especially early when they're young. I don't like really when now you see it more, and in Oklahoma, it's becoming much more relevant in the younger generation, like this new, the millennial and the young kids where they're only playing one sport. Mm-hmm. And football has become a year-round sport, even in Little League.
Yeah.
Like I have friends where they actually start playing football games in July. Mm-hmm. Playing, like they're hitting. They have training camp in March. They have a spring training. It's a lot. I think it's a lot on young kids, especially to just because you're almost forcing them to just play one sport. Because I'm gonna have so much of your time. Well, you're not gonna have time. I can't send them to PJ for basketball practice because we're doing our speed and agility drills. You know, so I think it teaches. I think the skill level of kids, it has made it better. Where you get special kids, those kids that got you like, man, I didn't have that when I was young. Right. You know, so you have more of that. But I think, especially in football, you see the bigger programs and the elite programs, how those coaches talk about they like multiple sport athletes because it allows you to do more. And I think basketball is a sport that if you play basketball, you automatically, naturally have great footwork. Man. So for a football player, especially a guy you can get a lineman where he's going to have great footwork, it's going to allow him to be able to do some things that probably a guy at his size can't do.
Julius Peppers.
Exactly.
Play basketball in North Carolina.
Yes.
Going to the Hall of Fame.
I mean, you have, especially in that Midwest, from Midwest City, a bomber now at OU, Jalen Redmond. I mean, if he was 6'7", he wouldn't even have to play football. I watched him since he was probably 12. He's been about the same size. 6'3", 6'2", postman still, playing at 8, going against Bobo.
6'2"?
6'2",
So
guarding Bobo.
So he the Pearl then.
Oh, man.
Pearl Washington.
Rebound, 13 rebounds a game. Average 13 rebounds, 6'3". Same size he is right now, though, height-wise. That's how going against the best. And still just relentless. The way he plays football, it's just relentless. Like he's always coming. Yeah. And you see kids like, boy, if he ever, and he didn't even play. Right. And for those couple years, he quit playing football. Yep. And I was sitting there, and me and we watching him play basketball. And one of the OU basketball coaches, he's watching their team play, and he was like, man, boy, he was talking about how relentless he was. Like, that kid's gonna go to the NFL. He's like, he's gonna play football again. He's gonna be a pro. And he decided, we're watching him. I think he played his freshman year, so his sophomore and junior year he didn't play. So his senior year he decides to go back out there. Right.
Best player on the field. No question. Offense, defense, they throwing him the ball.
He's one of those guys.
I went and watched him play against Putnam City and Ron. They had another OU signing.
Tatum,
Dude catches a reverse pass and takes off down the field. Huge, 260 pounds. Just move on everybody.
Can't block him. Just like now, can't block him. So imagine a high school kid with a lineman. Yeah. He's just dominant. It's crazy. You watch him just like, he just messes the game up for the opposing team. Be like, he's got it.
He's a disruptor.
So you have those kids that are like that, and some of that's because he was such a good basketball player. You see the success of football, but I think also when we're talking about kids playing in July to basically a year-round sport, that's a lot of hitting. Mm-hmm. That's a lot, man. Like,
did you ever try football?
The funny thing is, I played 1 year. I actually played 1 year. The funny thing is, like, my family, part of the family, is the only basketball side. Me, my sisters, we play. All my cousins and everybody, they were football players. So I played a lot of sandlot football, like
Right.
because that's all
You
they
nice
could play.
in the streets,
Yeah,
but, you know.
super nice.
Yeah.
Super nice. So 1 year, and they're all older. So 1 year, my uncle, he's the coach. He's like, "Come on, little Joe, you need to go ahead and play." He's like, "I see you can play." So I go out there and I started tight end because I could catch, but it was cold, dog. And I really, that's when I realized that I really didn't like getting dirty. My mom used to laugh at because I'd get tackled. I'd be like, hey, she was like,
grass got me itching.
Pretty boy over here. It's pretty boy over here.
I realized, like, this is not for me. This is not for me. So that was the 8th grade. I'd had my one shine. Now my senior in my senior year of high school, we go undefeated. But we had a running back. He went to Oklahoma State, Justin Matthews. He's player of the year that year. He rushed for like 300 yards. So we would throw every now and again, and we had a few games where our receivers was dropping it. Like they didn't throw off, they'd be wide open, dropping. I'm like, me and Tony Hurd, we like, yo, I can do that now.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah.
I go tell Coach Ellis, hey, I want to play football. Okay, cool. Coach Griffin, he's like, all right, I don't care, go on there and play. I'm thinking that. But the story goes on. So for like a day, I go out there. Yo, they showing me the routes. Andy Bogert, the former coach at Heritage Hall, he was the offensive coordinator.
Okay.
So he's showing me the routes. I'm out catching. They like, oh, okay, he can catch. We won't send you across the middle. Out route, I had a fly.
They're not hitting yet.
Yeah, it was not. Yeah, you
not hitting yet.
You don't even have to do that. Don't worry about it. We're not gonna get you hit. You're not gonna get you hurt. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I go, and it's during basketball season, like practice, and I just go out in football. So now, the assistant coach calls my mom, like that night. He knows I ain't told my mom. I ain't even tell my mom. I just did this.
Mom don't know.
Yeah. And so he calls her. He's like, hey, did you know? I can hear her talking in the back. You know how you kind of like, what's going on? I can hear her. He's playing football. He did what? And I can hear her having this conversation. She was like, oh, well, don't worry about that. No,
It's over now.
Don't worry about
Correct
that.
that quickly.
Yeah.
So she calls me, hey, Joe, you playing football? You was out there in football? Oh, no, I was just playing. I wasn't going to play. But really, I would have played. Hey, if I could have made it, I would have played.
I believe
But yeah, she was like, nah, we not having that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So that was it.
Yeah,
so
that's
that was, I had to retire, unfortunately.
That's awesome. Well, speaking of football, we got a big, huge playoff game coming up. Want to get your thoughts on OSU and A&M too. They got a huge game, but and you mentioned receivers. Damn, LSU has got 4 of them. What do you think about the initial matchup, PJ? What do you think about their receivers? Talk to me.
I mean, they got a crew. Let's be honest. Winning the championship not supposed to be easy. It's not supposed to be easy. So you're going to play the number 1 team in the country. You'll play now the Heisman Trophy winner. I look at this as an opportunity. It's definitely an opportunity to, you've had a great season when you put yourself in a position to be in the top 4. So it's already a really good season. But once you get into the postseason, it changes. This is the postseason basically for college football. And Oklahoma can win. I'm not saying they're going to be the favorite. I'm always keeping 100.
That spread keeps going down.
Yeah. They're going to be the favorite. They should be the favorite. They're undefeated.
Yeah,
they got probably the best resume this year.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no
They
doubt.
put in work.
No doubt.
Right? But that doesn't mean they can't lose. But Oklahoma's going to have to do specific things. To me, everything in football starts at the line of scrimmage. O-line, to me, gives your offense its versatility. Because if they can run block with proficiency and pass block, that gives the coordinator and the players an opportunity to do multiple things. But if you're lackluster in one, that opposing team that's going to be that talented is going to try to make an example of that you're not that good at that. We understand that. So Oklahoma has to take shots. They have to be aggressive. Don't give the ball to the other team starting off. Get the ball, take it. We got to come with an aggressive nature. We have to be aggressive, and we have to be fundamentally sound. Tackling space, covering your man. One of the things that bothers me just in defense secondary alone is you're 15, 20 yards downfield, and you're getting caught looking in the backfield. you can't make that play from 15, 20 yards away. You need to see man, see ball. That's how I was taught. I played corner in high school. See man, see ball. Oklahoma can win this game, but they're going to have to take it up to another level, and you can't give them a head start like you did other teams and come back from that. So can Oklahoma win? Yes. Are they the favorite? No.
Yeah, Joe, what you got? What you think about the OU LSU game, and then finished off with what y'all gonna do with A&M?
Well, I think in this game, and really after about the third game of the season, I knew, I said, okay, this team, I was like, and I told PJ, I said, PJ, I like their team. They might be built better now because they're not striking as quick. You look, they would have the ball 40 minutes, and they're still putting up 600 yards. And all of a sudden, you're like, well, now that defense, they're flying around. They look better. I think the lack of explosiveness in the passing game, because Jalen Hurts isn't as accurate as Baker and Kyler. Some of the pass plays, the 1,040-yard plays, it wasn't that. So I think it helped their defense become better because you're not out there a lot. And because I think they're still small. I think every Big 12 team, their defense, their front seven is not as physical and imposing as an SEC line of scrimmage, as we're going to see. But I thought that the running of Jalen, I'm like, this team is able to, on 3rd and 4 for the last 3 years, that was a pass down for OU. They had to pass it to get first downs. And this year, it's like, they can run the quarterback, and it just makes their offense better because they're staying on the field longer. So I thought it was giving them a better chance. I think they're built better. I think LSU, OU's weakness on defense, I thought we've always kind of said the secondary. Well, I think LSU, their strength now is their wide receivers. And LSU doesn't necessarily hit you 4,800 yards. Of course, they're hitting you big plays. But they're also a team that can go 15 plays, 80 yards, just as well as the one play, and they strike. I think the key for Oklahoma is Jalen Hurts. If he doesn't turn it over, I think OU has a chance to win because LSU, they haven't been as good defensively, and I think it may be because their offense, some of what OU, if they scoring all the time and they strike so quick, you get out there, you're just not as good. If you got to play 80 plays, well, you're not as good as when those first 40.
That's right.
Because, it's built for speed. If you're playing by speed, you're going to wear down quicker and bigger guys. So I think that if they don't turn it over, they'll give themselves a chance. Now, I think they still have to play really well to win, but I think this is the most winnable game they've had since they've been in the Final Four against any team. And this team is probably the most explosive. But you're like with Oklahoma, I'm not really worried about points. They're going to manufacture points. Is if they can manufacture a stop and not, when they're moving the ball, have that lack of that Jalen drop the ball and just a careless turnover, because they're good enough now offensively, they're going to capitalize. Yeah. Just don't beat yourself and give yourself a chance, and then we just see what happens. Yeah.
OSU A&M.
I hope they're able to get back healthy. Spencer Sanders, there's a chance he'll play. Chuba, if you're Chuba, and you guys can probably attest to this more than me, being football players, man, he carried the ball a lot this season.
A lot. Played through a lot of injuries.
He should have been at the Heisman ceremony.
He should have. But he didn't look like the same runner. His first game, PJ, compared to even us. Yeah. First game, break out in the open, gone.
He's gone.
10th game, he break out in the open, he looked like me.
Oh, man, yeah. Somebody's going to catch
JD
it now.
today.
Yeah.
Not
absolutely.
JD.
And it was a lot of times during the season, it's 3rd and 8, and they would just give him the ball, and just run the ball like, that's just him getting hit one more time.
Right.
If you think that's the best way for you to win, I understand the play call, but it's like, are you really trying to win? Oklahoma State is saying that I think they did overachieve this season. I think Spencer Sanders has a chance to be really good. They're gonna have to get some more receivers. They got to find another guy. They've always found one. They've always found one, so they're going to have to find another guy.
They got to find balance.
Yep. And the running, I think they'll be good offensively, but the separation with Oklahoma State and just Oklahoma and the Texas is just, it's not really, I think it's easy to prepare and get kids to be good offensively because it's more of a natural, you can work, like defensively, you kind of got to have it.
Absolutely.
You know, you got to have a kid. It's hard to get a 3-star defensively and turn him into a 5-star than it is an offensive kid to go from a 3-star and turn him into a 5-star. And they're going to have to just recruit better players. And I'm nervous about Oklahoma State just for the simple fact I think Baylor has become that second team now. And I think it's
really good coach.
and I think Oklahoma has to worry a little bit in the state of Texas because, I mean, they were right there. And everyone can't come to Oklahoma, but if they can get that next tier kid, that separates yourself from Texas now, Oklahoma State, like the Kansas States. Because those teams, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, they're going to be good they're going to have a crew where they get that, they're older, now they're experienced, and they're going to be good for a couple years. But when you got Jimmys and Joes, you can overcome that. And I think Oklahoma State really, they may have missed the boat in taking over and kind of being that second team by not capitalizing on the success they had when they really did have it rolling. Now I think they're going to be back to that 8-4. 8-4 this year is okay. But if you're going to continue to be that's not the program they told us they want to be.
Right.
That's true. That's true.
I want to get your thoughts on that. I want to come back to you on some of the recruiting that OSU does, but thoughts on OSU A&M?
It's going to be an interesting game. I think both of them are looking to not only win, but to try to set the tone for next year. And you want to look good in games of this type of profile based on recruiting. You know, if Oklahoma State beats A&M, you can recruit off of that. If A&M beats OSU, they can recruit off of that as well going into the next season. So this is, recruiting is the lifeblood of these programs, basketball, football, whatever, what have you. So this is huge for them going forward. And Joe was right. OU is a standard bearer right now, but Baylor does look like they're trying to eclipse what people thought Oklahoma State was going to be when they had that year they were one game away from playing the national championship, in my opinion, and where Texas is. Texas has all of the tools. They have a lot of talented players in their state, and for the most part, they've had a lot of talented players on the team. I'm not sure how this marriage is going to go with Tom Herman in Texas yet. I'm not sure about that. I know he's a good coach, but I'm not sure how that.
It doesn't look good this year. It didn't look good.
It didn't look
feel
good. And he is the leader of the program right now, but he's also a finger pointer. And if you're the head coach and you're always pointing outward, you're never taking any of it yourself. If you continue not to win those caliber games and you're finger pointing, one or two things are going to happen. Guys aren't going to want to start coming to play for you, or Texas is going to get rid of you. Yeah. Because there are some big name coaches that are out there. I know Urban Meyer, a lot of it is, Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. Some of it's been kind of USC. Okay, let's say Jerry keeps Garrett another year. Please don't. But let's say he does, and USC keeps their guy. Why wouldn't Urban Meyer go to Texas if he want to coach again? So it's these bowl games are the start of next season in a lot of cases. And can Oklahoma win? I mean, can Oklahoma State win? Yeah, they can win. They can. I don't know if they will. Everything has to play out. But they hopefully the running back has gotten enough rest because he's a beast.
Oh yeah.
He's an NFL caliber guy. I thought he should have went to the Heisman ceremony, and I definitely thought he should have won the Doak Walker. He played one less game than another guy. I thought, and I'm not just saying that, I really think that this kid can go get it. So I think that they kind of did him wrong a little bit on the award shows.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think it's going to be a good matchup. And these type of games, I always look at them as pride games. If I'm going to play, I'm going to play hard. You know what I'm saying? I get it may not be where we wanted to end up with at the end of the season.
Pride game is real.
But it's a pride game, and it's another opportunity to get you on tape if you're trying to get to that next level. Or if you're a backup and you're trying to start. I'm close to Joe. Joe's slipping a little bit. Or Joe is close to me, I'm slipping a little bit. Coaches see that. That person that takes that bowl game hard, the offseason, and if it's close, but I don't like your attitude and your work ethic, I'm going to show you you're going to start. And that's going to do one of two things. That's going to either get him going right?
Get him going.
Or get somebody else going that's
Get him going, get him gone.
right. Or, man, I know I've kind of been slipping a little bit over here. It ain't even me they talking about. But when you see a guy that is proven get put on the bench, it makes everybody stand up straight a little bit because that can happen to you too. Yeah. So there's a lot of things going. The season is winding down college football wise, but there's still a lot of things that people can do to set themselves up as a program, as a coach, as a team going into the next season.
Man, you mentioned Baylor, and I think one thing that people took for granted, Joe, was 3 of their D linemen. They only played 3 D linemen, but 2 of them were fifth-year seniors. I mean, we throwing out freshmen and sophomores a lot of time, and these dudes, that's a big difference between 23 years old and being 19. It just really is. So not only that, I think Boynton's done an incredible job recruiting in Oklahoma for OSU basketball. The Boone brothers are great. I love the kid at PC West, Rondell. The brother, you got somebody on staff that's brother committed. Unbelievable job he's done to me, and this is where I wanted to get your thoughts on OSU football. He goes after 5 stars. He don't step back, and he gets those, but he also kills it in state. He kills it here. He kills it nationally with those top ranked guys, and then he has some areas that he feels like he can go to. To me, it just seems like OSU has went to, we will take a 3-star guy in Texas. That's our guy. That's our guy right there. We don't want to out recruit ourselves. We don't want to. We'll try to find a quarterback, but we'll just find this guy that's not going to get OU, that's not going to get Texas. And that, do you feel like that's the philosophy? Do you feel like that's right? Let me know.
That's where I think the problem lies. To beat OU, let's face it. Bob Stoops, Lincoln Riley, they're great coaches. But they also have C.D. Lamb. He makes you a great, he makes you a good coach, but a great coach now. Like, I mean, the less you have to coach, the better coach you can become. Right. Sometimes I think when you have to do what Oklahoma State is doing, it puts so much pressure on your game plan that it has to work. Yeah. Because if it doesn't work, we don't have anything else. Right. I don't have a guy that's just better than him where I can say, you know what? Well, let's just line everybody up. We're better than them. And now let's see what happens. I think that's where the difference comes in Oklahoma. And that's why you see Oklahoma, even when they play Oklahoma State, I don't care what they're doing. OU, they might run it, or they'll throw it 80 times 3 weeks before. But when it comes down to Oklahoma State, no. We're not gonna play make believe. We're gonna physically we're gonna impose our will on you.
As you should.
You're gonna be little brother. Now I'm gonna show you why you're little brother. It doesn't matter. Yep, y'all, we lost to Texas and y'all beat them. But it doesn't matter today. When we get out here against you, we're better than you because I'm better than you. I think that's the attitude that Oklahoma has. I'm better than you. Once we get out here, I'm already better than you. And if you don't get kids, and I love the kids, Oklahoma State, they get the most out of them. They play hard. They're great. They end up becoming great players, but they don't have the numbers. You got to have the numbers. You got to be able to have depth, and they don't have that. They have 2 good corners in Green and Williams, but there's never that guy where there's a freshman that has a chance to be really good. That's the backup. And there's not they're learning, but they're learning on the job right away in the fire. Like not your backup. Now I got to start you at corner and you got to guard C.D. Lamb. Now, I mean, right. That's hard. Yeah. That's hard to ask those kids to do it, especially when you're not the elite kid. So his mentality is going to be different. But I think Gundy has taken a back seat in that. And I think you can kind of tell. I think, PJ, we've talked about, you've used the word he's complacent. And in a way it is, and he's admitted that. And to admit that you're not going to go after those better kids, I think eventually you set yourself up for failure. Because if you don't have the best kids, now you're going to say, I have to be the better coach. And I'm not going to always be the better coach, as you guys know that. Sometimes, even a great game plan doesn't always work. Right. And I think you have to get kids that are difference makers. Now, for basketball, Mike Boynton, you have a guy, he's going after everyone.
Everybody.
Yeah, if you can play and you can fit my program, you can come here. I think you belong here. And people say, it's kind of basketball is inbred and they're built for it, but the excitement hasn't really been there over the past 5 years that it was when I was there, or those early years of Gallagher. So to set the sell job he's doing to get kids to want to be a part of that, I think is a great job. And it's just what you have to do. I think the state is probably producing a lot better player, higher caliber player. So it helps that you're winning those battles in state. I think every good OU team, football or basketball, Oklahoma State football or basketball, yeah, you have the guys. You're going to have a lot of guys from Texas. You're going to have the guys from Virginia. You're going to have a lot of those. But there's always 4 or 5 Oklahoma guys that are on that team that are really the heart and soul of it. Because I think you just care more. And when you become that leadership role, as you know, leadership is very important. When you get those 4 and 5s to follow you and understand what it is, I think you have success. But I always think you're going to have to always win in state because, it's your bread and butter. And now with the higher caliber kids that are coming with the Boones, you have Rondell Walker, top 50 kid. You have Trey Alexander coming in the next couple years. You have the kid, Dylan Robertson, out of Ada, who's a top 30 kid.
Yeah.
Now you're getting kids right here. But when that happens, now you're going to compete against the Dukes, and you're going to compete against Carolina. The Kansas is going to be here. So to get those kids, it shows the job they're doing and the sale job, because it hadn't really been rocking the way it could, but the potential is there. But they're getting a lot better this year. You're going to see improvement. But I think next year is going to be the year that they kind of take off and be able to kind of assert themselves, even in the Big 12. I think they're going to be a middle of the pack, should be a tournament team. But next year when Cunningham coming in, I think the excitement will be back there, and it'll help just by recruiting.
Yeah. You mentioned it, and I want to get your thoughts on this, PJ, but the glory years, you're probably going to laugh when I say this. I went to one OU event my entire high school career. Brother, I went to 100. First of all, Alonzo Mays, we went to 5, 6 of his games. Adam Edwards went to 5, 6 of his games.
Dope cat.
Any of the basketball, you mentioned yourself, the Graham brothers, the glory days of OSU sports. That was when I grew up and saw the Lindsey brothers, Bob Simmons, going to see an Adam with it. What was OSU like, football and basketball, when you were in college?
Basketball, they were really good. That was their era for me. And they were going to, tournaments and have high expectations, Final Four opportunity. That was, to me, like I said, I moved here in 90. So I can't speak to what was before. But that middle 90s, when he was there, and Keontae and those Brooks, God rest his soul, when all those guys were there, they were a tough team for anybody. You know what I mean? They were tough, and they knew they were good. All-time great coach. They had players who could shoot, defend, get on the block. They can do all of the fundamentals. So when you got the fundamentals in anything, but we're talking basketball, when you have fundamentals and then you throw on top of that athleticism, and then on top of that ultimate competitiveness and confidence in yourself, and then you put all that package in the hands of a great coach, you see what happens.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you don't just get one guy, you get multiple guys, because when competitive guys are around, striving for the same goal, my competitiveness and your competitiveness is going to make us both better. So if I can beat, if I'm in the shooting, a shooting battle with Joe, I'm not going to win it, but in my mindset, I'm going to win it. So it's going to naturally make me better. So if I can get close enough to him, I'm going to be better than the other guys. So I think that some people want to go somewhere where they're definitely going to be the man, and I understand that. I want to go somewhere where I'm going to get an opportunity, and I'm going to show them I'm the man. So when you're around other great players or very good players or just competitive people, period, it raises your expectations of yourself. It raises your work ethic when people aren't watching. Okay, well, maybe I don't go out tonight. Right. Little things like that. Maybe I may not, just be honest, maybe I may not have that drink. Maybe I'm put that away for the season. Just being honest. When you say, I'm going to totally focus on being the best I can be so that we can be the best we can be, because I want to be remembered. People remember winners.
That's real.
They remember winners. Like, there are guys that I played with, Cedric Jones, the all-time sack record leader, in a game, season, and a career.
He's still huge.
His name never comes up because we didn't win enough. Winning, unfortunately, changes the narrative. We get that. So those on teams that are winning, they get remembered more. But at the end of the day, if you can say to yourself, I did everything I could, at some point you got to be okay with that. Mm-hmm. But it's the ones that kills you as you get older is, I wish I would have. So that's why I try to tell people, give it all you got now. If you gave your very best and you lost, you can deal with that. But if you know you didn't, that's what's going to eat you.
Yeah, it's going to eat you.
And they always came to play. You know, I went and saw them in Norman when they came to Norman. I think I went to 2 games in OSU when McKeonte won somebody else. But so I've been to 2 games in Gallup.
He was a beast, man.
Yeah, he was a beast.
I saw him in high school too. He used to come back to Rose State. Used to have college courses in the summer. I'm telling you, man, we was all basketball.
Yeah.
So,
but you know the crazy thing is, like, in each era, you know these guys. Mm-hmm. You cross, you know what I'm saying? You cross paths. Yeah. So there is that competitiveness during the game and you know, repping your school, but real no real.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You don't care what color you are. You know you got something to deal with. Let me tell you, one of the 2 best corners I've ever played in my life went to OSU. R.W. McCorders.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you. Real deal. Aaron Glenn and R.W. McCorders are the 2 best corners I've played against. Ray Mickens was 3rd. There was nothing R.W. McCorders couldn't do. Play basketball, run track, play football, go to the league, whatever you want to do.
My sister dated a guy from Midwest City. I remember 1995. They
Real
ran Midwest City. Him, Eton. Yeah. It was on TV.
And you know how we lost him?
Yeah.
Because of Snellenberg. Knocked that over his head.
Fans gonna hate that. You had to bring that up. But it's the truth. It's the
He went
truth.
to OSU and got busy. Got busy. Charles Woodson won the Heisman. We know a lot of that was because of his versatility. Well, RW has similar versatility. When you go look at their numbers, I believe it was 97. It's not that far off. He played for Michigan. Michigan won a national championship, right? RW, I played him I was a senior, he was a freshman. He was a problem as a freshman. So you know we only got better from that. You know, he and Aaron Glenn was the best corners I ever played against. Yeah. There was nothing that cat couldn't do. Did you know anything he couldn't do?
No.
He could do it all. Yeah. So, but these are the fun things because you test yourself against competitive people. Every now and then you get those people you just gonna run through. But when you know you're in a real battle and you won, you respect that win more.
Absolutely.
Right. So it's competitiveness, confidence, and work ethic, and belief in yourself. Listen, there's a lot of talented people that don't believe in themselves.
Oh, no question.
They like, you can do it, but they don't really believe, or they're scared of failure. Being scared of failure, I understand it. Not necessarily believing in yourself, I understand it because I've had those issues at certain times too. But at the end of the day, all you can do is the very best you can do, and then you live with it. But if you didn't do your best because you didn't put forth enough effort or you didn't believe in yourself, that's what hurts you down the line. That's what eats you up. What if? You don't want to have those what ifs.
I need you to come talk to my math students. Real talk. For real, 7th and 8th grade. We need that shit Monday through Monday. Every day. Monday through Monday, fam. Want to get your thoughts. Any homies that play? What was OU like when you played against them in college? Did you go to any games? Football, basketball?
Well, fortunately for me, when I was in school, as PJ has said, you know, those were the down years. So we actually, 2 of the 4 years, the football team, they actually won. So that was something that had never happened where a recruiting class had actually won 2 games versus OU in football. Wow. So
when did you get OSU? 95?
96.
96, okay, yeah.
Yep. I was actually on my recruiting visit to OU at OU when the 12-0 in 95.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really, it was the best time Oklahoma State has ever had. And even though OU wasn't as good, I'll never forget watching DeMond Parker, though.
Yeah. He's true.
Hey, man.
Booker T?
Yes, indeed.
We got to talk about that, too,
Yes,
just because they've killed with Booker T. So go ahead.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I remember DeMond Parker. Eric Moore was your quarterback.
Woo! Yep.
Eric Moore. It was rough. That was when one of the years it was Blake when y'all changed offenses like 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
We saw it all, brother.
Yeah.
We saw it all.
It was so it was really the only time OU's really ever really had been in turmoil. That I would call that. I mean, those were the dark days. I mean, you go to practice on Monday. Oh, they running the wishbone. Brandon Daniels the quarterback. He is. I mean,
right. Yeah.
Oh,
Do you know who does not get enough credit?
Not BD.
Simmons.
Man.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
Most
absolutely.
No, most
Did he win 3?
No, brother. Yeah.
He won 3.
They were
Is there another OSU coach that's ever won
Only
3?
less. Only less.
I want to say they
Les
were.
won 2. Les was there 4 years. He beat us twice. Beat us 0-1 and 0-2.
Yeah, so Bob did win 3.
And he started out like 7 or 8-0 one year. Mm-hmm. When I was younger.
They were really good. I mean,
I didn't mean to cut you off, but Simmons' ability to get some of those Tulsa kids
yes.
to come to OSU and play football, and then with Les bringing those less things that he does.
Oh yeah.
That period, Les
Got
won
it
2
to
and,
where-
and Simmons won 3. That was like OSU hadn't won from 76 until 95.
Yes.
And then they went like knocked off 5.
They had won real quick. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
it changed the perception of. Usually they thought they were going to win, but in that time period, they had a lot of confidence they were going. I know my man Sean Love and Adams, all those guys. You know, those guys. You know, if you talk to them, they look at the OSU situation differently because they like we didn't have those problems.
yeah.
And that's true. That's their truth, and it's true. Now we know historically it's not close, but in that time frame, they came in and thinking they were going to beat us, and they did. A few of those times.
Yeah.
So I think that Simmons, for whatever the reason was that they let him go, he does not get the credit he deserves for what he did for OSU.
And he actually started it. I mean, he truly did. I mean, but he got a player like R.W. McQuarters. When you get a player like that,
He's a beast.
it can change a program. I think it helped them. They got better players than what they were, and they did. They got a lot of in-state guys,
Tony
good
Lindsay and them.
athletes. Yeah,
We got
Tony
Lindsay.
Lindsay. Yeah, they caught some, and they were able to, kind of start the foundation. And then you had Les come in. Les was more the, we going a little deep. We gonna go a little deeper down off in there. Let's go a little deep in Louisiana and find something. Oh, okay, you got a little charge. That's all right. Come on. We rehabilitate you
It's
over
small
here.
charge. We
You
don't-
know,
you know, small.
yeah. As long as we can work with that.
Yeah.
So it was more trouble. But I believe what Les actually did, and you hear guys who play for him, like he literally felt he was gonna beat OU every time, like. And the confidence, you don't see that now when they go out there. Now, Oklahoma State fans are like,
Order has been
Gundy's.
restored.
Yeah, probably so. Most definitely. They're more like Gundy is he's gonna give it up. Les, he was pistols blazing. It wouldn't have been running 3rd and 8 running up the middle. Les is like, let's chunk it down there, flick. We're gonna do whatever. There's not going to be any question that I tried to win or lose this game. Now, I may not win, but you're not going to say, boy, they didn't leave a bullet in the chamber. And there's been games in Bedlam when Oklahoma State, since they've been really good, where I feel like they left too many bullets in the chamber.
Let me ask you this question. I'm asking both.
Go, yeah.
I think Mike has done a good job at OSU. But my question to both of you is, does his history with OU never beat him when he played, and he's 2-12 or 2-13 as a coach? Does he, in the back of his mind when it gets close, think, oh, here it comes again?
What you think, Joe?
That's a good question. And I think you have to
Playing
say
not to lose.
you're playing not to lose. To me, and maybe as a coach, he should feel, because I think over the past 10 years, Oklahoma State was second behind Oklahoma in wins. So he probably does, as a coach, say, oh, well, I'm right there.
Right.
They only got 4 more wins than we got. Well, our program is right there I'm right there with them. You're close. Yeah, you're so far away though. Yeah, you can say that. Yeah, we're right there, and you know a lucky play here or there. Yeah, but did you actually try to make that play, or did you just kind of wait for it to happen? I'm okay losing by 20 if I know we get if we go guns blazing and we tried everything and we lose. Well, they're probably a little better than us anyway. Traditionally, that's what it's been, and now, even though Oklahoma State has been really good, Oklahoma's been better. I mean, you're close. You've been able to compete on that level, but I'm okay. Like I said, I'm okay, and you have to understand as Cowboy fans or alumnus that OU has been elite. When it comes to football, there's no question, the dominance. So I don't understand why you don't come into this game guns blazing like, hey, look, we're going to do everything possible to win this game. If I win this game, I can save my job a couple years by just winning this game anyway. I can win 10 and be good, but if I win 4 and I win this game, oh, man, I'm going to get a 2-year extension. They're going to give me I'm going to get another chance.
Unless you're Simmons, but that's another story.
That's
another story.
We'll get into that. I'll bring it up. But no, you're exactly right. And the analogy I was going to use is he's beat Texas, he hasn't lost Kansas. That to me, that's his mentality. Yeah. Can we beat Texas? Did we lose Kansas? All right, it's a good year. You know, I mean, if we put up a good fight, you know, and to me, that's where you guys kind of hit on it, the expectation of Simmons and those guys, of Miles coming in here, let her rip. Everybody laughed at it, but he expected to win that day.
Yeah. We'll fight you in the parking lot. Play you in the parking lot. Something like that.
Yeah.
So, I want to get into some recruiting stories. I know y'all both got recruited by OU, OSU, and I wanted to tell I wanted to lead it into a story about John Marshall. You mentioned some of the guys that I grew up with, Tony Hurd, Coach Griffin. Coach Griffin's my brother's assistant over at Dell City, small world. Yep. Ninth grade, I get pulled. Thought I was a hooper, Joe, so I got pulled up to varsity in ninth grade. So I get to play in 2 games. I get to play against El Reno, make 2 free throws. Well, we're playing John Marshall. Let me start. We had gotten sent to a regional in Ardmore, and Southeast was number 3 in the state, and we upset them. They had D1 and Terry Holly and all that. So I didn't upset them. They had some good players. Yeah. So we upset them, and Ardmore puts it on us the next round by like 30. So we have to, I don't know who the hell John Marshall lost to that year.
Well, now, though.
We got to go play John Marshall at Edmond North. Well, again, I'm only a freshman, PJ. And so the first half, we're warming up. Well, I noticed, and again, I ain't got bunnies or nothing, but the goal's only 9.5. So I'm up here fucking throwing it down. Freshman, we going hard. Well, we didn't piece together that John Marshall was going to have that goal second half.
Wait a minute. They got 2 uneven goals.
It was only 9.5.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
So we go up and they got Dre, Gino, Mikey Bird.
Yeah.
Brother, we down 42. Coach, clear the bench. Everybody, I'm looking like, me? No, please no. No. Dog, they got 3 dunks in a row. I'm like, Gino. Dre throws him a oop. Oh my God! This is the most demoralizing thing.
Ready to go to work?
Yeah. So, but anyway, I bring that up just to there were great players around Oklahoma. There was great programs. You had to work your way up through that program. You were an elite player there. Talk about working your way up there, PJ. Any high school teammates, OU, OSU, just that whole deal, recruiting battles.
Like high school. I mean, when I was in high school, we played against Law Knight. They were. I think they're the first. They're the first team that was in USA Today at that point in time was considered national champion in high school. Mm-hmm. They were number 1. That was 1990. We played them in Stillwater, funny enough. In Stillwater. That was where the state championship was being held back then.
I used to love that. That AstroTurf, fam. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I just didn't like that short wall.
Yeah.
I like that short wall. And they robbed us because we
y'all should have had them?
Yeah.
We got to get the film out.
Let me tell you. This is what happened. Their receiver caught the ball, turned, took 2 steps. Our safety hit him. He fumbled. We picked it up, ran it for a touchdown. They said it wasn't a catch.
We did replay.
They said it wasn't a catch. They robbed us. Listen, that still bothers me.
I believe it.
That still
I
bothers
believe
me.
it. You know every detail. So I
That
mean,
still bothers me. But no, that was in Oklahoma. That's the best high school team I ever played against. Fred Laston, all those
McFadden?
went to USC.
Dwight McFadden.
Dwight
right?
McFadden.
yeah.
Beast. D-line. Listen, they were so good. Their coach got taken OSU, right?
Yeah.
Was it McReynolds? Something like that.
I remember that name.
He got on OSU staff. That is the best high school team I ever played in Oklahoma. They were tough.
Yeah.
They were real tough. Like I say, basketball is my favorite sport. Like you telling that story, I played against Iverson.
I want to hear about that.
Well, in Virginia, you on the Christmas break, you can get away from your district, and they have little tournaments. Well, he's from the Bethel Hampton area, which ain't that far, and this cat was real deal, like for real.
Couldn't imagine.
He was the number one player in the state in football and basketball.
Seen some of his football highlights. Ridiculous.
He's the number one player in the state in football and basketball, and he had real long. You probably been around. He has real long arms for his height. He could quickness, competitive. Mentally strong. If he came down, he stole the ball, and he threw the ball on the ground, caught it, and dunked it. Yeah, they gave us that part.
That was one of my favorite Georgetown teams.
He didn't steal that from you, was he?
No,
Not at all.
no.
The throwing it down part.
Because when he around, I'm doing that old Magic Johnson deal. I got my arm here, doing like that.
Arm bar.
You gonna walk that thing.
Walk it up. Yeah, don't give him no opportunity. Yeah, that was crazy. I played Joe Smith in the high school too.
Woo.
Yeah, he was a beast. Listen, we were up by 2 at halftime. They beat us by 20 in the second half.
I believe that.
Joe Smith was tough.
Was he 7 foot?
I think
Close.
close.
6'10".
Yeah, he was like I think he was like 6'8" or 6'9" when I played him. I think he grew a little bit more, but yeah, he was like 6'8", 6'9". He was Joe Smith was really, and they were the number one picks back to back.
Yeah. All right, Joe. Give me. Like I said, I grew up yourself. I mentioned Estelle. Ebby Ara was another great scorer in high school.
Oh yeah.
Just talk
True
about
bucket
high
getter.
school. Yeah. Bedlam recruiting stories. Anything? Great players. That whole deal.
Man, really, my recruiting was it at that time, and it really became it started. That's when it first kind of got more national, more media was involved. My buzz came really though because the state school, of course, they know who I was, and the funny thing is. And this is the difference between back then when we were in school and now. Like, they didn't offer me a scholarship when I was a freshman. I was averaging 20 points. I'm like, now you average 10.
Yeah, they
you get
want
the
you lock you
offer.
up quick.
I'm like, man. So, but I end up I go to ABCD. It was Adidas. Adidas ran by Sonny Vaccaro,
Out of
the
Philly.
true guru, really, that started. He's the one who actually got
He's
the
the
new
godfather.
age kids of going overseas. Brandon Jennings, he was the one that really started that. But he was there. He was the runner. He ran Adidas, and Kobe was there. Weirdest thing, I was on my way. They pay for everything, so I'm taking my flight and I'm reading the magazine. It's like Kobe Bryant, and I'm like, Kobe Bryant, never heard this dude. Okay, man, Kobe. Next, we get there, we get to camp, and it's Jermaine O'Neal's there, Kobe's there, Tim Thomas was there,
Man, he's a beast.
Was Rick
Richard
there?
Hamilton. Richard Hamilton was there. Khalid El-Amin was there. Glennon Alexander, which Sariti Brown, turns out. We had, out of the top 10, it was 8 of the top 10 players in the country in our class was there. And they had a guy by the name of, the number one point guard at that time was a guy named Shaheen Holloway. He went to Seton Hall, McDonald's All-American, New Jersey, typical East Coast small ball handler. So when we get there, first day, we get there, our point guard doesn't show up. Or he's late, like his flight. Something happens where he's like getting there. So the coach is like, all right, well, who had the ball? Well, you got to play the point. All right, you going to play the point? Because I was probably the shortest dude. He like, all right, you got the point. I'm like, all right, whatever, I got it. We play against Shaheen Holloway, the first guy. So It's the first day, and I go off. Like, I knew who he was, but he was typical New Jersey. He couldn't shoot. So So I'm just like,
New
I'm
Jersey.
literally.
The Ron Strickland
there. Yeah, y'all, man.
Ron
He's
Strickland,
at the
handles.
wall.
Handles,
I
no
mean,
jumper.
I'm 10 feet off of him. Like, you are not fist to embarrass me. No, whatever happens. And I end up playing really well. And that's when my buzz really got started. And so nationally, a lot of schools started to come after UConn, Arkansas, UCLA, and things like that. So it put a lot more pressure on the Oklahoma schools, because now it was like, oh, wow, well, we got the big dogs. So OU, I couldn't go anywhere. I mean, if I went to the YMCA, there was an assistant there watching, like literally followed me everywhere. And I actually committed to Oklahoma. And I go home, I'm like, all right, I have a visit with Coach Sampson. And first, it goes well. I come home and I tell my mom, my mama go to OU. She sleep. She wakes up. She like, get up, like, hold on, what? Hold on, wait, what happened? What's going on? You just decide? I'm like, yeah, I think I really want to go. Coach Sampson's school. She was like, all right, but just hold on for a second. So we scheduled a meeting. OU has a football game that Saturday, and OSU has a football game that Saturday. OU plays at like 11. Oklahoma State plays at like 6. I'm like, let's go both. I tell both schools I'm going to come. I take a couple of my family members with me, which was different. So we were kind of getting serious. Like, my girlfriend gets pregnant. So I'm like, oh, man, I really wanted to go to UConn. So I don't say anything, but I'm like, well, I'm staying here. I got to stay here now. So I'm like, okay. We go, and I have this meeting with Coach Sampson. And this time in the meeting, we're talking, and I'm like, yeah. Then he's like, yeah, you going to play behind this dude. Play behind? Wait a minute. Play behind? What?
You ain't never supposed to say play behind.
Oh, okay. You have a chance.
Well, then.
And he was like, you know, you have a chance for 6 to 8 minutes. I'm like, oh, okay. Now I keep my poker face. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, what time was the OSU game?
We going to OSU.
Right.
Gosh.
I'm like, nah, I ain't going there. Yeah. He done told me that I'm gonna play 6 to 8.
That's it.
Nah, I'm good. So I go to Oklahoma State. We have the same meeting that he said, and he's a complete salesman. Now, he was cold. He had my whole family man, he takes the floor. I mean, he's telling all these stories. My family loved him. I was like, well, I ain't going to play 8 minutes.
Right.
Nah.
So, and then turns out Tim Heskett ended up going there and he's played like 35 minutes. I was like, I would have got all them minutes, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
But it's
saying?
just the way it's the way it came across.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not even in the room at that
Yeah.
point, obviously, but just hearing
Yeah.
it, the way it come
He was
across.
very serious.
Yeah.
He's very serious.
Yeah.
Like, we already know. Like, I'm not going to play it out. We're not going to see nothing. I'm just going to.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I want to give you credit, man, because you kind of mentioned, and you'll understand after I say it, but you set a tone, man, and you set a trend. And by the time I was in high school, ABCD and them came to us. Joe, y'all created AAU. Y'all created summer basketball around here. Y'all created summer leagues and things like that. By the time, from what you went through, by the time I got in high school, we used to have athletes first practices at John Marshall, and Kelvin Sampson, Eddie Sutton, Bill Self would be at every practice. Now, granted,
Coaches there now.
Now, granted, I probably had, and you can attest to it, we probably had one of the greater classes: Kalina Azubuike, Sheldon Williams, D'Angelo Alexander, Kevin Bookout. We ended up having Marcus Hayden and Julius Land. We ended up having 6 or 7 guys that went big time, and a lot of height too. We had 4 or 5 guys on our team over 6'8".
Yeah.
And so at that height in Oklahoma is unheard of type stuff. I want to talk to you about the trendsetters, PJ. Who were you around in Oklahoma high school football? Who were you around at OU? Who was the trendsetter?
Trendsetter at OU, just like how cats was kind of moving.
Yep.
My boy Deuce, Corey Warren.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey,
He's the big homie, man.
I like that dude, man. I met him at an OU camp.
Let me tell you how I first met him. I'm gonna come on my recruiting trip, right? And okay, so let me back up a little bit. Okay. Everybody know me. I'm from Virginia, so I moved here my junior in high school. So, Joe, I told a story before with my man, but I don't know if you ever heard this before. Like, we was gonna move back to Virginia. You're right. So, I go to I'm at school and the head coach in high school called me in. So I'm like, yo, I'm thinking myself what I do. You know, at that point,
Yeah.
you don't just get called in. Like I told him before, it was two gentlemen over there. I didn't know who they were. I'm looking at coach. I'm looking at them like, who are they? And he said, well, they want to talk to you. I said, about what? About what? And they said, about your future. I said, okay. He said, I think you should listen to them. I said, okay. I said, who are they? And they unzipped their coat. Showed OU. I said, Lucia Selman and Bobby Proctor. I said, yeah, I'll talk to them.
Right.
Yeah, I'll talk to them.
Right.
And then they were talking. They were like, well, we hear you you may be moving back to Virginia. It was crazy because it was only talked about like 2 or 3 weeks before. I said, how do you know that? And they just it wasn't menacing. It was smooth. It was like, we're the University of Oklahoma. We know everything.
Yeah.
I said, okay. They said, if you stay, we'll give you a scholarship. Went home, told my old man, my mom, and my brother, you know, what you think you should do. We kind of walked through the what ifs. You know, because I wanted to go home. I'm 17. I want to go home, just go back to where I'm from and just have fun. But I'm not thinking about the bigger picture.
Yeah.
You know, so talking to my dad, as I told him before, he and my mom helped me walk through my thought process without telling me what to think. They were just asking certain questions, eliciting certain answers.
Yeah.
You know, so they didn't tell me, you know, when I said, you're going there.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so if you do this, what about this? If you do this, what about this? You know,
True breakdown.
yeah, great
Better.
parents. I couldn't have better. So I ended up staying and got a scholarship to OU. Well, the reason I bring that up is that I saw Corey. Corey's like one of the first people I saw. And anybody know Corey? Well, he's a big personality, but very, very smart. Man, I met him, and I come on my recruiting trip, 91. He's got the Boys in the Hood, fake hair on, Lokes, Scully. Because he's just playful like that. You know what I'm saying? He just playful like that. And he was kind of like a bigger receiver. He was kind of like, big. I'm like, man, what is this? So now I'm going to the, big red room, and I just kind of, you kind of like back into it, the old one. Kind of back into it, and all of a sudden, it's not a door there. I'm feeling a person. And I turn around, and I'm seeing chest. And I look up, and it's Joey Mickey. I'm like, man, what am I getting myself into? But, after that, they really sat you down. That's one of the great things. These are the things that you take away after you're not playing games anymore. It's the people that sat you down and told you what to look for, told you beware of this, be careful with this, look forward to that, little things like that. And it wasn't always the same person. I remember things that mean something to me. So when Corey sit down and say, listen, college is going to be fun, but you got to prioritize. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And Joey, big guy, just smiling down. Let me talk to you about something. God rest his soul, Mike Gaddis. Just different people. And I'm sure you've had that too, and you've been that for some people.
You're right over your shoulder, just so you know.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
CA Finest
yes,
right
you
there.
already know that's up, man.
Rest in paradise, the big homie.
Yes, sir.
Those are the things that I remember when, I remember meeting Jamel Holloway when we played Nebraska my freshman year. And it wasn't necessarily recruiting, but it was the same thing. When they say, that's why I always say, OU La Familia, because it is a family. OSU is a family. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I don't know it as well, but I know how a lot of those cats move, because if you're in Oklahoma and you play football, basketball, anything, there's certain events you're going to be around or certain things, and you get to know these cats. You know what I mean? And that's the stuff I take is the jewels they give you, and then you see they come true. Maybe it wasn't that year or that month, but you see, oh, now that makes sense what he said or what she said. You know, because obviously you can learn a lot from women too. So even if they ain't playing football or basketball. So those are the things that I love from the recruiting is they were just straight up. You know, Melvin, Corey, and all the guys just OU's fun, but watch out for this, watch out for that. And that is what I love. They cared enough because they didn't just sell me the sizzle. You know, they could have just said, hey, let's put number 8 up and just stay with that. And listen, that was said. You want to put number 8 up at that particular point in time.
But it's more to life in it.
It's more to life than that.
It's life.
And the best thing from it is when you're still cool with most everybody. You may not see them as much, but there's people that I ain't seen in when Mike passed, unfortunately. It was like 3 guys I hadn't seen in 15 years.
Not a day goes by and then nothing changed.
Nothing changed. You know what I mean? So recruiting, and listen, I went to OSU. My dad was sick. He had cancer. He died a couple weeks before I graduated from high school. I went to OSU. Coach Jones recruited me. Denver was the one, and then Coach Jones, obviously, like, you know, OU was my choice. It was what's best for me, but they were cool over at OSU too. You know what I mean? Coach Jones to this day, he's, you know, he'll bring it up and we'll play around. You know what I'm saying? I got the utmost respect for that man. You know, because like I told you before, I knew I was good, but where I'm from, everybody was good, so I didn't think it was anything special. You know what I mean? So when you get these opportunities, you need to be thankful. And I'm thankful for all the opportunities that, you know, my parents, my loved ones, OU. I'm even thankful for OSU for the opportunity. You know, if I didn't go to OU, I was gonna probably try to go to Ohio State. But anybody takes time out to try to give you an opportunity, whether you take it or not, you got to be appreciative of it. So I'm appreciative of OSU in that angle, even though, you know, we play about you know, the games and where the programs sit, you know, football, basketball wise, but I'm always thankful for anybody that ever gave me an opportunity because they don't have to.
Bro, you'd have never got shut out in Bedlam.
See?
You'd have never, that would have never happened.
Yeah, and I would have a losing record in Bedlam. You know, 89 to 18, those type of things.
Trendsetters up in Stillwater, guys you looked up to, let me know.
The one guy that really was like, yo, and it was Brooks Thompson.
God rest his soul.
Brooks was rest in peace. Deuce. And Brooks was that white dude, but Brooks had major swag though.
Yeah.
Super duper swag. Mouthpiece, could talk, but he had game. And it was like, you know, this is how we're gonna let you do. And Brooks was one, he'd get the gun, you know, and playing for Eddie Sutton, it was a lot of discipline, you know, as you guys know, hard nose, gonna defend first, but certain guys got a lot of freedom on offense. So Brooks was one, I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that. Like, yeah, I get to play like that.
Right.
Oh yeah, I can do that. So it was him. Keontae was a huge influence on my recruitment. I mean, he would come down, down and see me, yeah. And we knew each other from when he was at OCS from high school. I had met him because he was so good. You know, everybody's like, wow, Key. You know, he was. Yeah, he was a problem. Yeah, he was, man. He was the 6'6" first one that Oklahoma had seen bringing it up. Like, really playing the point and just like, we didn't have a lot of those, you know. Now, back in the older days, there are some, but in the new age, you just didn't see that. Like, you know, you was 6'5", coach, like, oh, you got to play the post. You got to be our big man. Yeah. He was a guy, private school, and we would play. They played. I went and watched him a couple times in high school, and it was just like, yeah. And when he went there, he would call me and be like, hey, what's up, man? Check on me. All right, I'm going to come get you. All right, so I'm like, all right. So he come down and get me and take me back.
Right.
And I never forget, on my true visit, he had came and got me. He wasn't even supposed to do that. And I ended up going.
Neither here nor there.
You vaguely remember that may or may not have happened.
We were there. And it was like the first day of practice. So I was there for the first couple of days of practice. I was like, oh man, this is so cool. Practice is cool. This is how y'all practice every day. Yeah, you know, like most of the time.
That don't even sound right now.
I'm like, man.
Yeah.
Boy. Then he was like, on the way he's like, man, Keith, he was just like, man, boy, I'm so glad you been here for these 2 days, boy. Boy, this practice, we been, was shooting.
Yeah.
All we do is work on defense the first week. You know that
Yeah.
for those 2 days though, all was a lot of shooting. They just were all fun, a lot of
soldier.
games. I'm like, oh yeah, this is it. Yeah, boy. It was a good old flipperooski once I got there though. Yeah. I learned
on the line.
Yeah.
Go.
Oh,
Switch.
man.
Now.
Yeah.
You'd love those Snellenberger drills.
I believe it.
Yeah, we had to climb the rope barehanded to the ceiling in the indoor facility.
Yep.
Yeah,
No, I
listen,
believe it.
he had this deal for us, Joe. There was like 12 to 13 DBs, right? Corners, safeties, whatever, backups. There's about 6 receivers, 5 or 6 of us. He had a line 20 yards apart. 6 of us here, 13 or 14 of them over there. And we just got to run at them full speed and time it. Mm-hmm. Full speed run at each other and hit them.
Hit each other?
Yeah.
Full speed, you got to time it. Go.
Time it.
Yeah. They didn't want you,
Going slower now.
No.
Yeah.
Go. Roll back around.
What?
That wasn't the worst one.
Yeah.
That wasn't the worst one.
What?
This was the worst one. It was a blocking drill. So we got to come off hard, 5-6 yards, break it down. The safety's running full speed. When they hit the whistle, you turn and got to catch him and block him. So you chopping and you got to turn. He's running full speed at you the full time, and you got to meet that force with the energy coming at you, and you chopping and then turn, and then y'all meet up like that. Yeah.
So trendsetters and my toughness thing. No, you laugh, but
It's crazy.
Well, but that yes, football is violent in that way, but basketball, that shit happens too.
Oh, yeah.
Chair slides.
So one of my trendsetters in my life, and you mentioned the whole Carl Albert, it was hilarious, but class of '89, Jeff Webster,
Smooth.
another guy.
We called him Smooth. At OU.
Yeah, he was at OU with you.
Smooth all day long.
Jeff lived down the street from us. I was actually a lot closer. You may remember William Woods. He played at OSU. Cookie.
Yeah, Cookie.
Cookie. Man, I love
That's
Cookie to death.
Yeah.
Cookie and them, you said, I brought up that Rose State camp. Rose State, they used to have a basketball league, so all the hoopers from OU, OSU would do like a summer league there. So I used to go run the scoreboard. Well, shit, I try to jump in if they ain't have enough, right? So I jump in one time, right? And Cookie playing and all these guys and shit. They like, all right, JD, you got Keontae. I'm like, man.
Yeah, Swiss barbecue chicken.
I'm PJ. After the first play, I'm like, switch. They're like, nope. You got him the whole game. I mean, so smooth. He just posted me up, bumped like that. I said, damn, I stand no chance.
He can do it all, man.
But I mean, and that's what I think people need to hear. And my son right now, he's 10 years old playing in 12. Are kids doing that enough these days, PJ? Because that shit was normal back in the day. You playing with 18-year-olds.
Yeah, I think
get up here. If you get in this game, you getting worked.
My dad used to have me play with his friends.
You getting worked.
You
Ain't no foul.
Yeah, because if you
can't
get used to
call
playing
foul.
up, you playing your age, you're not going. Yeah.
And then your success, I'm sure you got it hard, fouled hard, but your success only pisses them off more, So any steal you get, you're not gonna get a free layup. Any, time you got the ball, they double teaming you.
Get the ball in his hands.
But yeah, well, speaking of basketball, I want to get you, and then we'll get to these Twitter questions. But I got to get both of you guys' thoughts on NBA, Thunder, James Harden, hell, all these 50-point games.
Harden is
Let me know.
dope, but he's not the best scorer ever. They need to stop.
Who is?
Score ever?
Jordan?
Depends on how you want to look at it.
MJ was amazing.
To me, the 2 best players of all time is Kareem and Jordan. And then after that, we get to the Kobe's and LeBrons. To me, Kareem is criminally underrated. Kareem has 38,000 points. He's number 1 in scoring, number 3 in rebounds, number 3 in blocks. There's nobody in history of the game that's top 3 in 3 categories.
The narrative behind his name mean anything?
Well, the conversion to Islam, I think that bothers people in the 70s, obviously. Changing of his name. Listen, he was at UCLA, and he was standing with Jim Brown and them at 18, 19 years, something like that. In college, when, in that time, they could have, squashed some of your opportunities. So he stood up for that. Now, Jordan is just... He's the best two-way player ever. Best two-way player ever, offense and defense. Now you can bring rebounds and blocks and that kind of stuff into it. That's why I say he and Kareem. But do you agree that Kareem is underrated?
Oh, most definitely. I think Cap. See, when I was young, my mother was a Lakers fan, so she was a Magic fan. But Cap, so when you watch Magic, hey, it was Cap, and I think sometimes because of some of the things that happened in his early years that But I think when you talk to people, I think people just forget because Magic, when you talk about the Lakers and Showtime, they talk about Magic.
Yeah. And at that time, he was my favorite player.
And Magic was the face.
Yeah.
But he wasn't the Lakers. Kareem was the Lakers.
Magic was the most important.
Most definitely.
Because of
Because
how
of
the
how
team,
it happened.
Yeah.
How it
but
happened.
Kareem,
Yes,
but
without
Kareem was
Magic,
better.
But Kareem, make no mistake.
Because Kareem won without Magic. Magic never won without Kareem.
Yes, exactly. So, but it was really Kareem's team. But we love Magic.
Yeah.
The smile. Kareem was completely different. Back away. Don't want the media. None of that. And so I think people forget how good he really was. And Kareem could play now with his skill set.
That's what's up.
I don't know. I can't say he would be. I don't know.
Like a
he
20
would
and 10 guy,
yeah.
he'd just give you some
well,
minutes.
he'd be up there. No. They can't stop him. He got one move that could never be stopped.
Who's gonna stop him?
Yeah,
I don't know.
the sky hooks
I
never
was
be
gonna say
stopped.
Somebody with a damn 60-inch vertical.
Yeah, I mean,
They better.
it would only be now he would shoot threes.
Right,
See,
that's true.
Now, that's hard for me to visualize because I remember Kareem.
But he would do it.
But now, you put him in today's era, that's what he would do.
But yeah, I think he would shoot a little bit more. But my thing with the Kareem part in this era is who's gonna guard him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He has a shot.
yeah, no, it's
No,
great.
but I'm saying
That's a
on
great
the
call.
block.
Well, because nobody plays with their back to
They
the
can't
basket
stop him.
anymore.
Yeah,
It seems
you
like.
can't stop
So,
him.
Yeah, but that's what I see in basketball right now is I see the media highlight something and then the players try to go get it. And what I mean by that is if you say that the 3-point shot, you're going to put a higher premium on the 3-point shot, then you're going to make a lot of people do that. Because who the media gives credit to is who we try to follow. When Kareem was the man, or when Wilt was the man, they was looking for the next Wilt, right? And then when they turned it over to Magic, the 6'9", and Paul Presti's and all them came about. And then when Mike, two guard, then it was the Kobe's and all, you know what I'm saying? So who the media puts as the guy or the way they want the position to be talked about. Plus minus, that doesn't tell me about
that's real. Yeah, I get it.
But you played it. So do you value plus minus as much as what you actually see happening? Because in plus minus, a lot of times, I remember in the finals, when Miami was there, LeBron and Ray Allen was on the same team, obviously. Ray Allen, I think, had 4 points and 4 rebounds, but he was on the court at the same time when LeBron and his plus minus was the same. I got to watch the game. James Harden is a great scorer. James Harden is an underrated passer. James Harden is not the best scorer in the NBA scene. He's not. He's not the best scorer.
What you got, Joe?
Me-
What you got?
I am more of a. I think today's basketball. I think we get caught up in our generation and we say when we play, you take those players and you say, oh, well, those were the best players. I think in the new age, there are players that we probably think, oh, well, he was in my day. This was the guy that are better than the younger players now are better. I mean, if you talk to someone, you can tell me if you say, hey, would you take Larry Bird or Kevin Durant? You talk to an older person, they're gonna say Larry Bird. With me, I'm taking Kevin Durant. I seen Larry Bird, but Larry Bird wasn't nothing like Kevin Durant. Now, and he was cold.
Yeah, no doubt.
No doubt. I would play Larry Bird, but he's not better than Kevin Durant. I see what you I see.
What's your definition of better? Because we also got to talk about what they had to deal with. You can't touch players now.
That's true.
So if like when Michael Jordan went to the cup against the Bad Boy Pistons, 3 guys could hit him, they're only gonna call 1 foul. Do you think Kevin would play the same way if you're gonna get that same energy?
You would have to bring Bird.
I'm not knocking his skills. And I'm
have
not
to
even
bring
saying
Bird to that.
which one I'm picking. I'm saying if we're going to compare eras, we also have to compare the things that were
But when I look
allowed
at
to
it-
have. You can't touch anybody right now.
But when I look at it, I compare skill. I know a skill set.
Right.
I know Kevin Durant can do something Larry Bird just couldn't do.
What's that?
Well, for one, the way he handles it, and they're able to get his
He's-
own
he's a-
shot.
he's a
as
better ball
easy
handler. He's not a better
as-
passer.
He can get it as easy.
He's not a better
as,
passer, not a better rebounder.
Well, Kevin Durant never played before 50 greatest either, so he had great people to pass to. So let's not.
But would you
Great people to pass
Would you admit he had more talented teammates in Golden State than anybody else in
Probably
that
so. Probably so.
So he had the crew of his
probably
era,
so.
right?
Probably so.
Yeah.
But
and this isn't knocking Kevin. I think
but-
Kevin is dope. He's an amazing player.
I think when you look at skill, I say Larry Bird, there's one of a kind. Some people are just like that. He's one that's just like that. You put him in today's era, he would
be
kill
like that.
too.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'd have been like Dirk. Dirk was doing people, or
Mike
the
Miller,
new
how he
age
used to
Luka.
come
Yeah,
in,
Luka.
yeah.
Like it would be like that. He would still be getting his money now. He would still be up there. But I think if you gonna tell me, man, I'm just gonna take them out there and they're gonna get out there and play. When they get out there and play, Kevin Durant's gonna be able to do some things that's just gonna separate himself a little bit, not maybe a lot. I just think that's what would happen. I think some of the new age people could possibly be on those levels, and we won't give them that credit because they can't be touched. I think if Kevin Durant played in the physical, if he played in the era of physicality, well, he'd lift weights because everybody was lifting weights. Well, I mean, the reason why the small guys play, they were lifting. Everybody had to play like that. Now you don't have to lift to be successful. So you're going to have guys who's skinny or whatever. So I think in that era, every great player, you got to do what you got to do. I mean, Jordan didn't lift. He had to start lifting. The Pistons made, I mean, he talked about his regimen and how he had to start. He just had to get bulkier, get stronger. Because they were beating him up.
Right. So
yeah. So
do you think Kevin, and this is not anti-Kevin, I think Kevin is probably one of the 20 best players of all time. And when his career is over, he may be closer to 10. But I think how long you did something well should matter as well. But how do you think he would? I guess we'll never know how he would handle the physicality when you can actually put him on.
I think Jordan wasn't a jump shooter, great mid-range shooter, but more of a he's going to the rim. MJ was dunking on you. Kevin, he's had some great highlight dunks, but he's shot more jump shots than probably Mike, I would say.
Oh yeah.
So he probably wouldn't take as much of the punishment because he's gonna stop and just shoot right over the top of you. That's the ability that I think he has that Larry Bird doesn't have. Well, he's 6'11", he's gonna jump over you and just shoot it. He's gonna get a wide open shot and a great shot.
Bird was like 6'10", though.
But great 6'9", 6'10". But when you look at him, I think
I thought Bird had more overall skills.
As a whole, complete, yes.
But that's I'm saying the player.
Yes.
I'm not talking about the score.
Yes.
I'm not talking about the no. Kevin's a better scorer.
Or you say some of the skill set too.
But the defense and the passing, his ability to pass, Kevin, I seen Kevin kind of play defense, but that's my issue because I know he can. You know who else bothers me with that? Is James Harden.
Oh.
I've seen James Harden play defense, especially on the block. James Harden on the block with bigger guys, he's thick enough and sturdy enough to kind of get him off. But they don't make them play defense.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. When you say Bird, he could do more things, yeah.
He could.
Now,
now, doing more things may not be necessarily a better player to you, and I get it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Right, but
that doesn't always make you better, though.
Right, but being able to shoot more proficiently, there's other aspects to the game that may make somebody better. Right?
True.
Because like the reason I have Jordan as high as I do, or Kobe as high as I do, or Kareem as high as I do, or LeBron as high as I do, is because they also got down on the defensive end. So if I'm gonna use that platform as why I hold Kareem and Jordan and Kobe and all those guys in as high esteem.
But that's how you do it, though.
I can only speak for me.
Yours is always two-way. Yours is you go two-way.
If we're talking about the best player,
what,
right?
No,
so
yeah.
because if you remember, Magic was my favorite player as a kid.
Yeah.
He was my favorite player as a
He
kid.
could guard all five. 4.
I don't think Magic was a great defender. I don't think.
Excuse me. He could play all 5. I know.
He could play all 5 positions. That's what made him unique. 6'9". We hadn't seen 6'9" being able to handle and play all 5 positions, right? So that is what made Magic unique. Obviously, the smile, the winning, the no look. He was just the most exciting player until Jordan kind of took off. He was that guy, and he was winning championships. So if you're unique, if you're fun to watch with a flair, and you're winning, and you haven't really made anybody mad, you're gonna shoot to the top. Love Magic. But if we're going to talk about who's a better basketball player, LeBron is better than him because he can play defense and he can do much of what Magic could do. Is that fair?
Yeah. I mean, I think LeBron probably is, but it's
But
also some of those physical skills that LeBron has to where I take them. Because you can sit here and you can name me all the great two-way players or whoever. But when they went to guard Jordan, well, they wasn't as good of a two-way player no more because Jordan's better than him. I mean, that's what I think sometimes it's going to be. Yeah, you can be good and be a better two-way player than Kevin Durant, but when you go guard Kevin Durant, you're not going to be.
Right.
So Kevin Durant is going to equalize that. Yeah. So you're not really what you're telling me you are when you see that guy.
But those guys I'm talking about are. I didn't say every. I didn't say
I
everybody.
was just saying Kevin. I was doing the comparison with Larry Bird.
Okay.
Like, yeah, he can do more, but that one skill set he has might be better. I can trump that because when I'm 6'11", I'm not gonna get out there and necessarily be the lockdown that I could be.
But why
even
not?
though I should do that.
Right.
I should.
He was in his 20s. I get it if you're a little bit on the back end and you bring it back a little bit. LeBron's done it. I mean, he's picked up this year, but he brought it back a little bit. You know, Brian brought it back a little bit when they got older. But in your 20s, he didn't do that.
And I think when they were young, I think they were. Scott Brooks could have did a better job of molding them into trying to become that. I don't think defensively was ever really a
premium. Wasn't the primary
thing.
thing.
It wasn't the primary. You know, the good team, championship teams, they always talked about defense in the NBA. It's always been a good defensive team. Even now, the Warriors were the best defensive team. They gave up a lot of points, but per possession, they gave you a lot more possession because they played faster. So you're going to have to be able to stop some. You're going to have to be able to get stops.
And to me, that's why Oklahoma City never won.
Yes. The premium was not.
When Golden State, I know we got to get to the Twitter question. With Golden State, everybody saw the immaculate shooting. Everybody saw the ball movement. When Kevin got there, it made them, y'all ain't beating them, right? Of what the NBA teams were at that point. You're not beating the team that has that type of cohesion, that type of ball movement, and you bring in the best scorer in basketball.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But the one thing that they didn't get enough credit for was how they did team defense. Mm-hmm. So to me, when I think of the best defensive teams I saw, it is the Bad Boy Pistons. They were the best team defense I saw, covering for each other. The best one-on-one defense I ever saw was the Bulls.
Scotty.
Jordan, Scotty, Ron Harper, and Dennis Rodman. They don't need help with their guys. You can put them three at the front and say, cross half court. The shot clock is going to be running out on some of these scenarios. And they can switch because they're all similar. Obviously, Jordan was shorter, but they were similar.
Like spots.
Right.
Big enough
so,
for tall enough
so
to wear.
When you have that defensive mindset and acumen, and then you have the offensive capability, to me, that's the thing when we talk about great teams.
Yeah. And Jay, you had said something. And what I was talking about with young players, like the Trey Young, like Trey. Mm-hmm. Trey is great. Like, I think there's more skill level now. I mean, I see high school guys, I'm like, man, they way better than me. Like, man, I didn't do none of that. But the premium is there's so much work put in, it's so much invested in it now than it was when we were young. Like, I mean, football players, you can go do speed, agility. Well, PJ, you ran a forward without no speed and agility. You could have got faster.
Yeah.
You know, like you could have actually gotten better.
Technology is
it's made it to where you can just continue. Like basketball, you know, guys are in the gym constantly. So the skill of it, the beauty in basketball is there because you got the behind the back. They can handle it. They can do those things.
But the fundamentals are gone.
Yes.
Gone.
Yes.
Nobody closes out.
Yeah.
Blocks
the
out.
True.
Right.
Nobody.
Fundamental of it.
There's no bounce passes. There's no pump fake. There's no
That's
triple
wrong.
threat. There's no everything.
Yeah.
I'm dribbling through a double team like that.
Right. And
I'm laying every layup is like that. You know.
And I don't ever want to come across as anti-new. I'm not.
No.
It's just a lot of times in the media, I see, James is the best.
Things that are highlighted that.
James Harden is the best center. I mean, the best scorer. What do you mean?
Extra effort. That's my thing.
He gets 22 free throws.
Extra effort.
Right. On this, that wouldn't have been called when you were playing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. in JD, but you know your career was rugged, so you like the hard nose. Like, hey, I get my nose dirty. I'm the one. I'm gonna stick my nose and I'm gonna go hit him. The biggest. Oh, I got him.
Right.
I got him.
Eastside.
If I gotta run, yeah. If I gotta, I'm running it. I gotta go through there. He gonna meet me.
Right.
I'm gonna see him when I get there. I'm gonna do whatever I have to do. That's where as I talk about skill, the new age, they lack the toughness though. Mm-hmm. And that makes a difference because toughness does affect how good a player can actually become.
Right. And when you don't have to go through that fire.
Yes. Like
when you've
easier.
lost, like some of us have lost,
yeah.
you know the only thing acceptable is victory. When you roll the ball out there, I'm not just going to let you bring it across half court easily. I'm not going to let you. There's certain rules of the game that I'm going to play. You go up for a layup, I'm going to try to block it and then try to go get the rebound as well. Nowadays, they just watch you do it.
Now it's more of you with JD Runner. We going against JD Runner. You came through. They were trying to hit you.
Yeah.
Now the new age kid, they might run from you. Like their skill. I hate to criticize. I've like, man, the high school kids are now so much better in Oklahoma, but the other kids are not. No one let me score when I was in high school. Mm-hmm. They didn't let me. When I went to the hole, they was gonna foul me. Like they moved. Like now you might have guys. They're so scared of being on a highlight, we didn't even care about that. Like, if somebody made you fall, that was just like part of it. Like, people didn't jump up out the stands. They'd be like, "Ooh," but it was just like, "Oh, okay, he got you." Now, the highlight and the media and the ability of social media, where if you fall now, because so many people see it, kids won't make max effort because they're afraid that's gonna happen. They don't want to go viral on that. Me, I necessarily didn't care if I went viral like that because you might have won that one.
The next one.
Oh, man.
You didn't hustle back. You didn't hustle back on defense, so you just got a free two.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
You dunked on me, but I just got your ass back.
So now we're even.
And you guarded him on defense right there. Like, what the hell just happened?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's the will of it, and that's where when you talk about toughness, that's what our generation was. It was tough. Like it was true.
And they got some tough cats now.
Yeah, there's still some.
Okay, so then one more thing real quick. I think the media platform has been good for every athlete. It raises your profile, more people know about you. So I'm not knocking that part. But sticking with the basketball thing, when they were trying to push the Golden State was the best team of all time era, I didn't understand that.
Because they spread the floor and shot a bunch of threes. I mean,
yeah, but they never beat a great team, though.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just giving you the rationale. That's what everybody lives in the moment. PJ,
I think sometimes
they're not thinking, okay, well, the Celtics had KG and Perk, and they would have had to match up with them, and they still had three guards out there that would give anybody trouble.
Speaking of this Lakers team, though,
they nice.
They the truth.
Yeah,
LeBron has started guarding again.
Absolutely.
He's rededicated himself.
Yeah.
Defensively, but this Laker team could beat Golden State.
Yeah.
Because
not
only
this is
and they can play so big to where they could just tower through Golden State. Now, LeBron, KD, and McGee, when you had that back line, that's a huge back line. First of all, you got two shot blockers. You have AD, a guy who can play center or power forward, who can guard on the perimeter. JaVale McGee or Dwight Howard, who can protect the rim. Both can move their feet laterally, though. Yep. And then you have really your two defensive stoppers in Bradley, which are true. They're really going to lock you down.
They go guard.
Bradley and Danny Green, they're going to lock you down.
Yeah.
So they're able to do stuff defensively, and because they just have Brian and AD, they would be able to be this. They would beat that Golden State team.
You may not agree, but I think the Miami version would have beat that team.
Yeah, I mean, because
that version of LeBron was better than Kevin, right?
No question.
That version of Wade is better than Steph. Like,
Clay.
Then you got
that time.
So I thought they would.
Wade was just so much better back then.
Younger.
He was so much better. It would be Clay would have a much tougher time because there's not two guards like D Wade was when D Wade was in his prime.
And Bosh ain't gonna really deal with Draymond like that. I mean, Draymond gonna deal with Bosh like that.
No.
And then you have Ray Allen who can give you some threes. So
So
that's what I'm saying. It's not a anti anybody. It's just people just say things and it just kind of just flies because the media said it. This per 3,000 possessions doesn't tell me anything. How many real possessions was it?
Yeah.
That's what I want to hear about.
Yeah.
Telling me about 3 games average worth and putting it to. I don't have a problem with technology. I don't have a problem with science. I don't have a problem with numbers. But what I have a problem is what they try to do with these numbers. It's almost like we can't talk basketball to people. We have to tell numbers to owners so that they understand it.
Yeah.
Can't just see
And
with
when
their
you
own
talk
eyes.
about the narrative, and I just want to switch for a second because I want to ask you guys something. When you talk about Lamar Jackson, and they say it's the new age NFL, how they're playing offense. Lamar Jackson came out of college. He played for Bobby Petrino. Bobby Petrino is known as a
Smart coach.
smart
Offensive mind.
quarterback. Not he didn't have the really guru, but pro style quarterbacks. Why is it Lamar Jackson? He threw for more yards than what was his name that he had at
Rodgers or
what's my man's name that he had?
Ryan
Mallett.
He ran for more than Mike.
He's
Vick.
ran more than Mike, but I'm saying in college he had Ryan Mallett.
Oh, yeah.
Every
Oh, you
good
talking about
quarterback
Arkansas?
Bobby Trino had.
Yep.
Lamar Jackson killed him. He threw more yards than all of them.
Put it on Clemson was a
Yeah,
touchdown.
but
away
he
from
also
beating them.
ran for another 1,000. But the throw, he's always been able to throw. I don't understand how we got the narrative that he couldn't throw. When you throwing for the yards he put up, now, okay, he can't. Now, I don't know if he could read defense correct. When it was time to throw, somebody was catching him. And so I don't understand the narrative. And even now, with his success, you still people saying they'll give him props. Oh, yeah, he's doing this. Oh, but they've catered the offense to.
Sure they
I
have.
thought that's what coaching is first,
Yeah,
is
cater
that
what
you
your player
cater
can
your
do best.
offense to the best guy. When I'm gonna
What he
make
can
sure
do,
what
the
he
best
can
of his
do.
ability.
Yeah,
Maximize.
Lincoln Riley. They don't run Bacon. They don't throw. He's not Bacon Kyler.
Right.
So we're not gonna do that. That's coaching to me, but I don't understand when narratives like you're talking about narratives become and people. The one thing I learned as media, and I always knew this, that when you say something, somebody's listening.
Always.
And a lot of times they believe it because they assume you know. That's why I try to say, I don't try to get on and people say hot takes. I don't use hot takes, man. When someone is listening to me, I think they're listening to me to get educated. So I'm going to educate them based on what I feel. But I'm not just going to say something and start or create a narrative that's not really true.
Yeah.
I'm going to go by what I see.
Yeah, you're not looking for the grand.
I'm not looking. I'm not looking for the likes in there.
It's unfortunate, but breaking news: Tom Brady just broke Mike Vick's rushing record, single season. Okay, y'all didn't even fucking believe me, right? I mean, so unfortunately, some of us have to go twice as far to be twice as good to go half as far, and they expect us to be already able to do certain things, and they have an expectation, like you mentioned, of reading defenses that we lack. Not only that, when we do show our excellence in running and show those things that we're able to do, it shows our greatness, but people think that quarterback is limited in the league to how you throw the ball in the pocket. And Lamar is showing that you can do so many variations of that. And lastly, I thought Shannon Sharp had a great point on this. Is people why he's throwing so many touchdowns, Joe? And I like the analogies with basketball a lot. Lamar is so fast laterally. You just mentioned it that you have to play him wide, right? Everybody wants, yeah. Well, the problem though is he's so used to having everybody in the middle of the field. Well, when you have people wide, one, your receivers have so much fucking space. Two, the middle of the field's clearing out, so he has a lot of running room here.
Throws are easy,
And then they're absolutely easier. Secondly, he can get to the edge, and then third, I think what a lot of people take for granted, PJ, he works against the best defense in the NFL every day.
Very underrated point. Good point.
Every day. He's working against veterans. He's working against guys that are showing different coverages and things like that.
Any place for him to coach out.
No,
Any place for a good coach. So a good coach of that magnitude, who's won a Super Bowl, he can off season practice or whatever, can tell the defense to give different scenarios that he's seen other teams do in the past that we think they're going to try to use this to make him do this or to be seen as he's weaker at doing this. So he's going to get those good looks from the defense you talked about, the coach. So I think all of that helps. You can be really good doing something differently, and that's what he's doing. I mean, I hated that the glove, jersey, football comment that was made. Excuse me. That's taken away from him. That's not an excuse. I mean, we've seen dark jerseys, quarterbacks get the ball to.
that was
funny.
Yeah,
Like, what is that?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
But I will say, speaking of Lamar Jackson, shout to my man for not fuck some interview training. You know what I'm saying? Talk how you talk. Talk that talk. You know what I'm saying? My man, yeah, you know what I'm saying? We do this, we do that, we do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Mark Ingram.
And Mark even have a blast. Bro, they are having a blast, man.
I like when he put the white glove on.
Yes. They trust. You know what I'm saying?
That was funny. That was funny.
Hey, speaking of
see me
funny.
now?
Yeah. Speaking of funny, let's get to these Twitter questions. You can answer this too, Joe, but Asuna Diva 1 wants to know, PJ, you single or what?
Yeah.
Straight up.
Oh,
Yeah.
Straight up.
You want me, I'll tag you in this if you want to.
It is what it is.
Okay, because
You know what I mean?
there was other.
Now, if
mentions
Neil
of,
Long
like-
called me or something, I may not be.
Okay. Yeah. It was the podcast is turned in.
Nia and Janet, that's my two.
Oh, Jenny, yeah, she's amazing.
my two.
I have no problem turning the podcast into Tinder.
Straight up.
Joe,
Straight
would
up.
you
Ain't no
like to
hate.
Would you like to comment on your relationship
When they
status?
ask me, I'll tell them, let them know.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. At G Lynch, what's his Twitter name? At G Lynch 77 wants to know. He said, Joe, it was aired that Eddie had basketball players practicing in football gear for toughness. were there any other crazy teaching techniques he implemented to improve mental physical basketball skills that you can legally speak of?
Now the practice in football pads, that he did that one time. That's the only time he's ever did that. And the reason he did it was Oklahoma State, they had played on national TV. And they played BYU. Mm-hmm. And it was the year BYU, the big kid, he ended up being a first-round pick. It was a big kid. Wasn't very good, but he was big. Kind of could move, could score. He was the old school big man, though, played close to the bag. He's not going to be one that can move out on the floor. And he killed him. He had like 20-something. And they got out-rebounded. I'll never forget. It was 42-16. Ooh. So, Tom Izzo, you know how coaches take stuff. Tom Izzo had done this with his team before. So, coach is like, you know what? That's what we going to do.
Yeah,
so, they kept it, like, they literally kept this practice, like, to laugh about it. So, they are out there. They literally have on, they got you, you know, for you guys, it have been, you know, your light day. You know, you got your pads on, no short, you know, no pants on, just short. But they got helmets on too. To see them, yeah, they got helmets on though.
I wish they had
and
videos
all
of this.
they kept saying, all you would hear is Tony Allen. He'd be like, "Damn, it's hot."
Yeah.
He kept like, "Man, it's hot." That's all he kept saying. And they literally like. It's hilarious because they out there running the plays, and then all of a sudden John Lucas is trying to shoot with his helmet and shoulder pads on. So they have it's classic. It was classic, and they do it, but they have to stop because Ivan McFarland is like spearing people. He's like lowering his head, boom, just like take charge. You gotta take charge. I mean, he's running just long. They like Ivan. You gotta stop. You can't do that. Yeah. You can't lower your head, you know. So they like, you know, we don't know what we're doing. So he did that. That was the one time. And when I was in school, Coach said his favorite thing when he wanted to do something, he'd just be like, run them to their ankle smoke. That was his thing. Run them to their ankle smoke. And man, we'd be, you know, we'd have a practice and we'd be going and we would want, he's old school, 3 hours every day. Every day.
No expectation. Yeah.
Every day. Like, we had a clock that worked. It was sponsored by the bank. He cut that thing off. Because everybody be looking up at that clock. Man, what time?
I'll tell you when you're done.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
He cut that clock every day.
Damn.
And, man, it was just, it was physical. It was just grueling. And he just ran us a lot. That's nothing like just more than most, I would say. You know, when he said to the ankle smoke, oh, that's a good 25 to 30 minutes now. Straight. We gon' Yeah, that's gonna be one.
Tony Allen, first team all defense, and his podcast is amazing. Love him to death. One of the greatest dunks ever. That steal he got Norman.
Yeah.
Boom! I mean, you felt that joint.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yes.
I'm glad you brought him up.
Okay.
Where does he rank for OSU pro players? Because Kobe himself said outside of Jordan, he's the best guy that ever defended one-on-one because he didn't ask for help.
Yeah.
How many years did Big Country play? That's a dumb question. 5, 6?
5
well,
or 6.
Shaq said Country gave him problems.
Yeah, he said Country. He
He
said Country was
said
the
on
hardest to
TV.
guard.
Yeah,
And
he
before
said
that, who was y'all had another point guard, I think he was with him, who used to average like 30, 40 a game. I have to look him up.
Randy Rutherford.
Rutherford.
Yeah, Randy Rutherford
Great,
and Brooks.
great
See,
player.
he and Brooks played together.
Okay.
Now, there's one guy y'all had. Problem. Tony Allen may have got more out of his career than this guy in the pros, and he's the best defensive player I've seen OSU produce. That Richard Dumas.
Oh, well, of course.
Was he a Tulsa kid? He was
Tulsa.
Booker
Booker T.
Yeah.
Let me tell you,
Booker T.
truth.
Yeah.
Barkley says he's one of the best players he ever played with.
I've heard that too.
No question.
That's three Hall of Famers. Talking about 3 OSU guys.
Yeah.
I ain't no hater. I give people they do.
So who you got?
Period.
Best OSU pro. You get 2 or 3.
The best.
D Mace wasn't terrible either.
Mace,
Very
as far
good.
as career,
Very
Mace
good.
Mace is gonna be up there.
Yeah.
Mace is up there.
Great person too.
Oh yeah.
Starks.
He was my roommate.
Starks?
Mace
Okay.
was my roommate.
That's what's up.
For all the last 3 years.
I forgot.
I was in his
Starks
wedding. John Starks probably may be the best. Richard Dumas probably had the most potential,
by far.
to be just a 10-year All-Star.
He could do it all.
Tony Allen, Starks.
Oh, my man in Boston. I didn't mean to cut you off. Money in Boston. He's basically Tony Allen.
Mark Smart.
Smart, yes.
Shit.
Smart.
Great career.
Yeah.
Marcus Smart.
He's kind of like the.
Who was the kid that they should have had? There was a kid that came in right after the. First of all, it's a shame that the Graham brothers never. Oh my God, what a great.
Well, they were good.
It's a shame they never panned out in the league.
Yeah,
they
they
had
were
like
good.
somebody who came in. He was a freshman that year. And he was a 5-star kid. He was like a shooting guard, and he only played 1 year. And he went to the league for a little bit. I'll have to look him up. I think he was maybe a Houston dude.
Oh no, he never made it. Gerald Green.
Gerald Green. Was that Gerald Green?
Gerald Green.
That's right.
And you know the funny thing was with Gerald, that year Oklahoma State signed the #1 recruiting class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gerald was he was there and he came on his visit or whatever, and they like it really he was supposed to come. And he goes off. He goes for 30 something in the McDonald's All-American game. And the next day he's like, yo,
To the NBA.
I'm thinking about going to the league. That's how quick it could turn.
Yeah,
And in
for
this new generation, you go play in the McDonald's game, get 30 points when, hell, probably 18 of them he windmill because nobody ran back.
Just chilling.
He
Yeah.
hit some threes, though, and it was like, wow, that athleticism, it was like, yeah,
Gotta
he's
go.
the next one. And he goes, and it's a funny story because Tony Allen was there when we were hosting him. He said, Gerald gets there, you know, he's drafted first round, he goes to the Celtics. Tony says Gerald is humble, real humble, all training camp. He's like, yes, sir, no, sir. Man, I'm just so happy to be here. Man, I'm just so happy. Payday come.
Yeah, it's over now.
They got the check.
Nice
Gerald
job, y'all.
opened that trick. He looked at it. And he looked at all them, started walking out, told him, I'm rich, bitch.
Dave
And walked
Chappelle.
out the door. And walked
Dave Chappelle.
That is what's up.
That's funny.
We won't be able to top that one, but both of y'all. This guy says, at Mojo Hammerstein wants to say, he says, PJ is one of the best I played against in high school. He said he loved watching you play against the Sooners, for the Sooners. Will you ask him if he thought about playing anywhere other than OU and for you anywhere other than OSU?
Well, I appreciate that. And I know you feel the same about this particular comment, man. It's really cool when people come out and support you. You know, Oklahoma has a great fan base. I'm biased. I think it's the best fan base through thick and thin. I'm sure he thinks his OSU Cowboy basketball crew, obviously, I mean, I've been to a couple of games. The place was packed. You know what I mean? So I thought about OSU. I was thinking local because my dad was sick. But if I didn't go to OU, I was probably going to Ohio State.
That's what's up. What about you, Joe?
For me, growing up, I wasn't an OU or OSU fan. A lot of people don't know this. My whole family went to Kansas. I was the first person in my family not to go to KU. My sisters went to KU, play basketball. My brother-in-law, so everyone was KU. So I was the first one to actually go somewhere else. So I was a huge KU fan. Mm-hmm. And
would that have been with Roy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It was the start of Roy. Mm-hmm. And I would have went KU. They actually didn't offer. They recruited me the whole time, and then they had one scholarship, and they said they can't give it to me. So of course I was like, all right, well I'm not going. I had much other schools, but I actually wanted to go to UConn. Had my girlfriend in high school not gotten pregnant, I would have went to UConn. And just because, I mean, I was just a huge.
I
they
love
were
their
rolling,
uniforms, dog.
They were rolling. Yeah, it was rolling.
God,
I grew up a Carolina fan.
I just loved everything about it.
My whole life.
So I would have gone there, but when I think about it, going to Oklahoma State, I mean, I don't know if it would have been a better place though. I mean, Gallagher then it was 6,000 people rocking. I mean, they get loud, that gold, get the shake. I mean, it was just things that you won't get now at a college atmosphere because everybody wants the huge 18. They got to make more money.
The Kentucky Stadium.
Yeah, of course.
Kentucky,
Everybody's got to have 15,000, and that was just an old school, just straight up, right down on you. Not a bad seat in there. So those memories I'll never forget though.
Yeah, for sure.
And whoever sent that thing, tell them thank you.
Absolutely. That was the chick you talking about. No, I'm playing. Hey, man, amazing podcast, man. Thank you to my big bro, PJ Mills. Joe, man, absolutely honored. Like I said, man, grew up watching you. I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that, but
man,
dude,
thanks for having me.
The shit was legendary. That's all I need y'all to know. That shit was life-changing, man. I mean, if you could see it, I mean, like I said, and it just... It's crazy, man. Just like I said, some of the athletes that were just around there that I got to see, and you could comment on it, but just some of the high schools in the city. It's a damn shame the city basketball is not what it used to be, man. It made so many athletes out of here, made me a better football player. I mean, I wouldn't have had it without guys that paved the way like that. So, man, really thank y'all.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I say this every time. We thank you. You are one of the curators of the gap between high school, college. You know, I continue to say this. Outside of, in my personal opinion, God, your family, and I consider family. Sometimes you can adopt friends as family. So I'm going to put the people you consider family that's not necessarily directly related to you. After God and your family, you need people like you. You need coaches. I've always said, and Joe, I don't know if I said it around you, that last year or two of high school may be one of the most transformative 1 or 2 years of your life, because there's so many positive things that can happen if you can get there.
And all you gotta do is one wrong.
And anywhere, New York City, California, Oklahoma, there's tough people in there every state, every city. And when you have those mentors, people that have been through it, people that have seen it, when you have those coaches or those teachers or just that family. I grew up in a place called Cavalier Mountain, Virginia, and it was so many people that cared about what happened to us. And, you know, they did it the right way. They had a relationship with our parents, and they could talk to us like that. But if you can get somebody into college, you have a better chance. Because if they fall short at high school and end up staying where they are, and I'm not saying any particular place, you don't get to experience seeing people from California sometimes, or New York, or people with just different mindsets and just different people. And I think when you're around different people, you learn something. You learn what I want to do or what I don't want to do. And I think college made me grow up a lot. It made me grow up a lot. So that's why I want curators like yourself, and I know you give back. That's huge, that people that they've seen do some pretty wonderful things take the time to give back to them and give their shared experiences, the positive and the negative, because I believe that knowledge is power.
Each one teach one. Like you say,
Each
Joe,
one
any
teach
final
one.
thoughts?
Man, I just want to say thank you guys for having me on, and especially thank you to you, man. And I appreciate you letting me on, and man, just keep doing what you're doing, because the one thing I love is that, you know, as athletes, people see you and they see you in the jersey, and they think that person, that's who you really are, and they don't realize, like, I'm a lot more like you than you really truly believe I am. And the one thing about it and I truly like is that it's raw for you. You give it to them raw. Like, this is you, who you really are, and don't change that. That's you. Don't change that, because it's not many out there like you that are willing to do that and to show who they really are. And that's what makes this show fun to watch, fun to listen to, and I can tell by your viewer, because it's something that not only can you speak from that perspective, you know what it's like to wear that jersey, but also you let them understand who you are as a person. And then in this field, we all know a lot of people don't want people to see who they really are. So keep doing what you're doing, my man.
Fam. Will do, fam. I appreciate it. I took too many losses on the east side to turn my back on this shit. I ain't gonna never change. So if I do, you already know something's up. But my bro Brad Reed, producer,
Doing a great
hooked it
job
up.
as
So,
always.
man, thank you guys.
Much
It's
love,
be
Brad.
another great. We'll just book another one, man, here before long.
Whenever.
After the
Already.
bowl game. After we go.
No doubt.
Hopefully we get that W, man.
Prediction, real quick. Give me OU prediction, OSU prediction. You give me both.
It's the quarterback's not gonna play, right?
Theirs isn't.
They're not gonna play.
He said it's a possibility.
It's
I'm
a
sorry.
possibility, but I don't think it. If I'm there, I don't play him. Unless he's just going. If he ain't 100, I don't think he does. I would say more no.
That's gonna put a lot
The
of pressure
question
on
is
the running
if
back. They're just
Chuba's going to
jump
play as well, though.
Yeah, I think A&M may get him. I think they may get him. Now, if Chuba was healthy and he was there, I think they'd have a better chance, because you little duality they can work on. But I think A&M is gonna get him.
Yeah. What you got, Joe? Oh, sorry.
A&M.
OU too. After you.
No, what?
Go ahead.
OSU.
OSU, A&M probably will win the game, because I mean, I doubt if Chuba plays. Oklahoma State just, their best three players are not playing.
Yeah.
You know, you use your quarterback, your All-American wide receiver, All-American running back, to go against a team like A&M, who's they 8-4, but only lost the top 10 teams.
Man.
So they've only lost to really good teams. They beat the teams they're supposed to beat. And Oklahoma State being undermanned now, it's a game I think A&M wins. Probably I say around 30-17. They probably, the inexperience at quarterback with Drew Brown, they'll probably do some things and overcome. But if I'm Gundy, for me, this is one of those games where I think they need to perform well for recruiting.
Got to prove it.
Not only in the Big 12 now, let's forget A&M, they the SEC.
Right.
So they're going to get their share of players as well. Yeah. If you can beat them, you got to top somebody. You got to be someone on that pecking order. You got to get up there where you 1 or 2. Yeah. You down there 3, 4, and 5, man. It's a lot of wolves coming there. You got Ohio State sneaking in the state of Texas. So you for Oklahoma State, I think this game is bigger for them, because they've got to find a way to be able to get in Texas and be able to get some of those elite kids.
That's real. Last one, OU. What y'all got? You gonna pick us to lose, huh? Go on and do it, PJ. Go on and do it. I'll tag him in it.
Joe, you go.
LSU, 38-34.
I got you.
They winning it.
I got you. So at least we covered.
Oh,
That's
no
fine.
doubt.
Yeah,
No doubt.
We ain't no punks.
No.
What you think?
The conceited gift. You seen that the battle rapper? We got the red cup.
Yeah.
PJ.
Let me go. You asked me first. I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna go first. Can we win? Yes. I think we can. If we got off the field on third down, get a couple of turnovers, run the ball, keep the ball out of their hands a little bit, but actually score. All that sounds good. The number one thing I want from somebody is just the truth. Can we win? Yes. I think LSU beats us. I don't want it to happen. I hate saying it. I hate feeling it. I hate thinking it. But I'm always tell what I really think. So everybody know I'm OU versus everybody. You know that all day long. I just think that they have. I think our secondary is going to be spread out. I think we're going to have a challenge at the line of scrimmage, and this is where we're really going to miss the 4 guys on the offensive line that went to the league. I think they're going to put a lot of pressure on Jalen Hurts, And in the back end of the season, he succumbed to some of that pressure, made some bad decisions, throwing the ball up in there, getting a couple of turnovers, throwing the ball, getting a couple of turnovers, fumbling. So is Oklahoma capable of winning? Yes, if we play a great game. If we play a great game, we have the capability to win if we get out in front and make them feel that pressure. But I think LSU is better than us this year. I think they'll win.
I think the stat that I'm going to look for,
saying
usually it's rushing yards, PJ, and I think you all will both feel this after I say it. We have to have 2 interceptions.
Yeah, we got to get some turnovers in short fields.
The Burrow he reminds me a lot of Carson Palmer because he lets his players make plays. He throws the ball. They've got 3 great receivers. Jefferson, Marshall, and Chase are unreal. And where I think we lose the game, unfortunately, is we don't make plays on the ball well enough. Yeah. He puts it on people, and our guys try to make a play on you here. They don't try to make a play on the ball there. And it's something little, Joe, but you can't give them receivers a chance to get the ball in there. How many they made 3 double catches against Georgia last week. I mean, got it, and Georgia's guy's reaching for it, and he's like, just takes it away.
And the question is going to be, we know what our greatest asset is. LSU's going to try to take him out the game, CD, right? So then we got two running backs hurt. I don't make excuses. I'm just saying it doesn't look like it's going to go in our favor. Because I'm going bracket CeeDee Lamb.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to beat us if I'm LSU. You're not going to beat us. Find a way to do that. Put the pressure on Hurts. Run him out of the pocket, get him out of the pocket where he feels like he got to make a throw to make a big play, or you hit him enough where he fumbled. I think that's what LSU's going to do. I think LSU's going to win the game. But I hate saying it. But I'm always telling you what I really think.
That's real.
I ain't fake.
Hopefully
But if we win, I'm going to be celebrating.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say. We ain't going to never hear the end of it. Who's Tiger Bay? Yeah.
Hold on. Listen.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to tell the truth, but I'm going to support the team. I'm going to watch the game. I'm going to be talking all my you-know-what until I can't say anything.
That's real. Man, we can do this all day. We had another great episode of Fullback U.
Yes, sir. Salute. Stay blessed. Merry Christmas.
Yes, sir.